Message for today: our emotions are indicators. They bring awareness to parts of our lives that we may need to work on, whether it be enforcing a boundary, doing some healing work, or maybe softening in certain areas, right? And these emotions or these emotional responses are stimulated by our feelings. So if you think of a spider web, right? And our emotions are in the center of this web. So there's happiness, sadness, fear, anger, disgust, and surprise. These are the 6 basic emotional responses, right? And then on the outer parts of the web, just how a web can catch, a spider web catches flies, what we catch in our emotional web are feelings. And these feelings can stimulate the web and create an emotional response, right? So you may have one feeling of, loss, and that may cause sadness, right? But that loss can also cause anger, so these feelings can elicit different emotional responses and emotional reactions, right? And by identifying what feelings are causing these emotions, we are able to, work on these areas so we're not so easily triggered and we don't get those emotional responses. Where in the future, we may feel lost, but we don't let it anger us, right? Or we don't let it make us sad, right? Because we've worked on that and we know that material things come and go, right? And we also know that, with people, we have our time here with them. And at one point, we all must transition. And when you come to, grow and accept these things, then you're better able to deal with these emotions and you don't let these feelings that get caught in your web get the best of you, right? And a lot of times when we get these emotional responses, we don't really know where they come from, right? If you've ever heard the saying, I sat with my anger until she told me her real name was grief, right? And just as I mentioned earlier, like a certain response can get different, a certain feeling can get different emotional responses from different people. And you might get a certain emotional response, but the cause may be something that you weren't even realizing, right? So if we work on these certain areas and we use our feelings and our emotions as tools, then we can better, manage and deal with the situations that we encounter in this world, right? So, just learn to slow down a little bit. When you experience certain feelings, it's good to feel because, like I said, they're indicators. But we don't have to allow those feelings to enter our inner web and cause these emotional responses and, get us up out of our hookup, take us out of our high vibration or take us out of our high frequency or out of our good mood, right? If we're able to identify these things and catch them before they cause that emotional response, because once you get into that emotion, once you get into anger, it's hard sometimes to get out of that mental state. I know myself because it takes a lot for me to get angry. But it's like once I get there, you know what I mean? So it's best for me to not let the anger get to that point, right? So I have to work on dealing with these feelings and identifying these feelings, right? So just be aware and utilize them, because it's for your benefit, right? So thank you for tuning in. Much love and blessings to you. And I look forward to seeing you again.